Jimmy Carr's comedy career kicked off in the early 2000s and 2 decades later has gone on to become one of the biggest faces in British comedy. Carr is known for his live stand-up gigs as well as his roles as the host of panel shows including 8 out of 10 Cats and the Big Fat Quiz of the Year. Now he's making another on-screen appearance for his latest TV gig, a controversial art destruction show. Channel 4's Jimmy Carr Destroys Art sees the comedian hosting an unusual TV experiment where the audience decides whether to destroy artwork by controversial artists including Rolf Harris, Pablo Picasso, and Adolf Hitler. Carr makes a good fit for the show as the comedian is no stranger to controversy himself, facing huge criticism over the years for a slew of offensive jokes and his involvement in a massive scandal. Here's some of Jimmy Carr's most controversial moments to date. Disturbing Holocaust joke about travelers. One of Jimmy Carr's most controversial jokes attracted widespread criticism earlier this year when it appeared on his Netflix stand-up show His Dark Materials. In a short clip taken from the show, Jimmy said, "When people talk about the Holocaust they talk about the tragedy of 6 million lives being lost to the Nazi war machine. But they never mention the thousands of gypsies killed by the Nazis. Because no one wants to talk about the positives." As the clip began to circulate online, the comedian suffered huge backlash, with a joke being labeled as racist, utterly disgusting and absolutely abhorrent. The Traveler Moment, a group tackled discrimination of the Gypsy, Roma and Traveler communities, responded to the joke, saying, "This is truly disturbing and goes way beyond humor. We need all your support in calling this out." They also called for Netflix to remove Carr's special from their platform. Despite facing criticism for the joke, Carr refused to apologize and later addressed the backlash during a stand-up gig. After an audience member shouted, "Are we going to talk about the Holocaust?" during Carr's stand-up set at the Whitley Bay Playhouse, the comedian reportedly responded, "We are going to talk about cancel culture, the whole thing. We are going to talk about effing everything, people. Relax." He later added, "I am going to get cancelled, that's the bad news. The good news is I am going down swinging. The joke that ends my career, it's already out there. It's on YouTube, Netflix, or whatever, and it's fine until one day it effing isn't." Jibe at British soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. Jimmy's jokes have been causing controversy for years, and another that he faced backlash for was a jibe at a stand-up gig back in 2009. The comedian was heckled by his audience after a joke at the Manchester Apollo about soldiers serving in Afghanistan and Iraq. He told the audience, "Say what you like about the servicemen amputees from Iraq and Afghanistan, but we are going to have a f***ing good Paralympic team in 2012. But people were quick to condemn the remark, including Patrick Mercer, a former Army commander and Conservative MP, who said, "It's not funny and this man's career should end right now. I understand his desire to shock, but there are certain subjects you just can't make fun of, and one of those is the sacrifice of our troops, especially this close to Remembrance Sunday." Carr later apologized for the jibe, saying, "I've got nothing but respect for the young men and women who put their lives on the line for this country." He added, "I'm sorry if anyone was offended, but that's the kind of comedy I do. If a silly joke draws attention to the plight of these servicemen, then so much the better. My intention was only to make people laugh." tax evasion scandal. Jimmy Carr's most controversial moments aren't just related to his comedy routines. In 2012, the comic was embroiled in scandal when he was caught up in the K2 tax avoidance scheme. An investigation by The Times accused Carr of being among a number of high-profile stars to have quit their jobs to sign new employment contracts with offshore companies based in Jersey. Speaking with Stephen Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO podcast last year, Jimmy opened up about the toll the scandal took on his mental health. He told Bartlett, "I didn't sleep for maybe 3 days. You always get an hour here and there, but I was having panic attacks." Carr apologized for his involvement in the scheme, saying that he made a terrible error of judgment. 9/11 Zayn Malik joke. Just months after causing controversy with his joke about people in the traveler community being killed during the Holocaust, Jimmy caused even more outrage with another joke aired on Netflix. The comedian made a shocking remark about 9/11 which aired on the Best of Netflix Is a Joke, the festival in July this year. In the clip, Jimmy compares a singer leaving One Direction to the September 11th attacks, which saw almost 3,000 killed. He said, "Now you might think this is silly, but it's absolutely true. When Zayn left One Direction, for me, it was like 9/11, I didn't care about that either. I was actually supposed to be on one of the planes on September 11th, but the more interesting story is how I met Osama."